Welcome to SBS Monk Training Center. Actually, today I'm going to present you a Dhamma talk regarding the qualities of the Blessed One. Actually, you are going on a pilgrimage to India next year. So therefore, you invited to the SBS resident monk to deliver some Dhamma talks as a preparation for your pilgrimage. First one already done by Bhante Arya Dhammika last month. The topic was the purpose, benefits of undertaking a pilgrimage to the holy site of India. Today my topic is I think already mentioned by Michelle. So what makes a Buddha the worthy one, worthy of honor and respect? What makes a Buddha worthy of honor and respect? This is the main topic today I am going to speak about. Actually, in this our Dhamma talk series, we are willing to give you some details about the qualities of the Buddha. Later you can learn so many things by this Dhamma talk series. Here today I would like to express you something related to the quality, the first quality of the Arahaṃ. Here actually, first of all, I would like to ask you a question. Can we understand about the qualities of the Blessed One? Is it possible to do for us? Actually, when we think about someone's qualities to understand, we can do it by two ways. First one is we can do by learning and also studying. By those qualities we can learn something and then we can understand. And also we can understand the qualities of someone by experiencing those qualities. It is different. I will explain to you it. Now it's maybe a bit complicated. I will give you an example. Imagine there is a father and a son. The son needs to understand the qualities of his father. Then he can follow these two ways. First, he think about his father. Oh, my father did so many things for the benefit of me, and he sacrificed such and such things, and he did a lot of things. And he is very generous and kind, and so many things you can contemplate towards your father, about your father. And then the son can understand the qualities of his father. This is the first way he can use. But also you can see when the son becomes a father, then he can understand his father's qualities by experiencing. I'm sure it is different because first he contemplates his qualities, father's qualities, then he understands. But when he becomes a father, he really understands the father's qualities by experiencing. The same thing we can see about the qualities when you go to understand the qualities of the Blessed One, the Buddha. The same thing can be happen. So first we can guess and imagine and think and contemplate by learning and hearing to Dhamma talks and reading books and reading suttas. Those ways we can get an idea about the Blessed One, the Buddha, his qualities. But actually really you wanted to become get the experience of the qualities of the Blessed One, you need to become a Buddha one day. So otherwise you cannot understand his qualities by experiencing. But learning and hearing Dhamma talks and reading some suttas, you can guess, you can have an idea about the Blessed One. Now we are going to follow the first way, not the second way. Second way is very, very difficult thing to do. Anyway, and also another question arises now. Can we talk about the qualities of the Buddha? Because now we are going to talk about the qualities of the Buddha, but is it a possible thing to do? Actually, in the Sāsanārakkha Sutta, in the Digha Nikāya 4th Sutta, their commentary says, very nice verse, I will tell you in Pāli and then I will translate it to English. Buddhopi buddhassa bhaneyya vannam kappam piche anyama bhasamaro. A Buddha explains the Buddha's qualities without saying anything else during all the kappa. Kappa is eon, they translated it to English as eon, but it is not a common word, I think. So it's you can understand it as a very, very long period of time. It is uncountable years of times. And also you can see it is the lifespan of a world system. Very long system. And I don't go to explain about the kappa here. We can move to the next part of the verse. The Buddha explains the qualities of the Blessed One during all the kappa without saying anything else, even though kiyeta kappo chiradiga mantare, the time will cease. Vanno na kiyeta tathagatassa, but the qualities, it not comes to the end. It is very difficult task. Even the Buddha cannot do. This is not thing one happened really in the past or in the future. This one is only as an example to understand how big, how large, how broad the qualities of the Blessed One. It is like an ocean. Now we are going to take a drop of water from the ocean. That quality is only a little amount of qualities. Anyway, you know, the Blessed One has mentioned the Buddha's qualities in several suttas. Here I would like to point out you the first, the qualities he mentioned about the Buddha in Mahaparinibbāna Sutta, Digha Nikāya 16th. Mahaparinibbāna Sutta, very common sutta. I think you have already learnt about this. There the Blessed One said, Idhananda Bhikkhu, Idhananda Arya Sāvako. Here Ananda, a noble disciple, Buddhe aveccha pasadena samannāgato hoti. The noble disciple has a great confidence in the Tathagata, in the Buddha. How? Itipiso Bhagava. Such is he, the Blessed One, Arahaṃ, the worthy one. Sammā Sambuddho, the perfectly enlightened one. Vijja Charana Sampanno, he is impeccable in conduct and the understanding. Vijja, the understanding, Charana is conduct. He is impeccable in conduct and understanding. Sugato, the accomplished one. Lokavidu, the knower of the worlds. Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarathi, the unsurpassed leader or trainer, those who need to be tamed. Sattaha Deva Manusānaṃ, the teacher of God and humans. Buddho, the awakened one. Bhagava, the Blessed One. Actually, these qualities very familiar with you, I believe, I think. So the Blessed One given these qualities, the noble disciple, how he endowed in this confidence about the Tathagata. Actually, in this order, the first one is Arahaṃ. the quality of Arahaṃ. Now my topic is also about the quality of Arahaṃ. It is very familiar thing to you. When we pay homage to the Blessed One, every time all the time we use Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa, the worthy one. Homage to the Blessed One, the worthy one, perfectly enlightened one, the worthy one. Arahaṃ means the worthy one. We can see in the commentary, there are 5 definitions given for this word Arahaṃ. I will explain to you about these 5 definitions given in the commentary. The first one is Ārakatta itipi Arahaṃ. He is far away from the defilements. Therefore, he is Arahaṃ. Far away from the defilements. Ārakatta. Then, the second one, Arinaṃ hatatta itipi Arahaṃ. He has destroyed all the enemies. Ari in Pāli we say Ari for enemy. Arinaṃ hatatta, he has destroyed all the enemies. Therefore, he became an Arahaṃ. Here the enemies mean not the external enemies, but the internal enemies. It's also about the defilements, taints. The third one given by the Blessed One in the commentary, Arānaṃ hatatta itipi Arahaṃ. Here the Ara means the spokes. I think you know the spokes in the wheels. You can see in wheels there are spokes. Here the spokes mean not the spokes of the other wheels. Here the wheel and the spokes mean the spokes of the wheel of samsara. Spoke of wheel of samsara, he has destroyed. Arānaṃ hatatta. He has destroyed all the spokes of the samsara wheel. Actually, what are the spokes of the samsara wheel? Those are the defilements also. And we can see especially the ignorance and the craving. He has destroyed all the possibility of rebirth. Therefore, he became an Arahaṃ. The fourth one is very common one. Nowadays, we are always using this one, the worthy one. The worthiness of requisites and all the respect and honors. Those are the Blessed One is worthiness, has the worthiness. Paccayadīnaṃ raha bhavata Arahaṃ. He is worthy. And then the Blessed One, the Arahaṃ definition given, the last one is Pāpakarane raha bhavata Arahaṃ. Absence of secret, evil, unwholesome mental state. The Blessed One's mind is totally pure, so there is no any secret, unwholesome mental state cannot be found of his mind. Therefore, he is called as an Arahaṃ. These are the 5 definitions given in the commentary about the Blessed One. Here you can see the Buddha's purity. Especially here emphasize the purity of the Blessed One. He is far away from the defilement. He has abandoned all the defilements. He has killed. He has destroyed all the enemies, and also he has no any secret unwholesome mental state. These are 5 definitions are related to the purity of the Blessed One. Here it is emphasized in the commentary. So when you think about the purity of the Buddha, you can see in the Majjhima Nikāya 55, the Jīvaka Sutta. In Majjhima Nikāya 55, Jīvaka Sutta, the Buddha mentioned about the purity of his mind, which kind of defilements he has abandoned. I don't go to the sutta directly. I will say you the defilements. Major defilements are lust, hate and delusion. lust, hate and delusion. These are the major defilements he has abandoned. So, you can see, before the Buddhas arise in the world, there were so many teachers in India, not only in India, all over the world, there were so many teachers. You know about Arahaṃ, Ramaputta, Uddaka, those are very famous teachers. They have already destroyed the defilements. They already cut off the hindrances. But what is the difference between them and the Buddha? They destroyed and they far away from defilements, but only for temporary. But the Buddha cut off the roots of the defilements. He totally destroyed all the possibility to arise the defilements in his mind again further. So he permanently abandoned all the defilements. That is the difference between the Buddhas abandoning the defilements. So, and also you can say the purity of the Buddha. And when you think about the purity of the Blessed One, here you admire the purity of the Buddha. I think actually when we go to admire or appreciate the purity of the Buddha, we admire the purity itself. Because actually we admire Buddha because of he is pure. So therefore we admire the purity. Actually when we go to admire or appreciate or delight in purity itself, it is a difficult thing to do. But when we consider about the Buddha's purity, then it is easy. The purity of the Buddha. It means we are admiring, we are appreciating, and we are delighting in purity itself. So when we delight in purity itself, at the same time, we can see how we are impure, how we impure are. So the purity, when in one hand we think and we contemplate and we see the Buddha's purity, and the other hand we focus about ourselves, then we can see we are not so pure like the Buddha, so we are impure. So the purity and the impurity. You delight in purity and also you disgust impurity. If you like impurity, you cannot go to the purity. If you like purity, you have to give up impurities in your mind. So when you consider about the Buddha's qualities, you have to develop your purity yourself. Otherwise, you cannot go close to the Buddha. So therefore, we have to contemplate and reflect ourselves to maintain our purity. This is very important thing when you are practicing practicing Dhamma. Actually, you should focus and you should be careful about the purity of your mind. Time to time, so many defilements arise in our mind, but if you reflect time to time about the Buddha's purity, and also you admire the purity of the Buddha, then when your mind becomes impure, then you feel shame. You are afraid about the impurity. You have the sense of shame, the hiri, and also you fear of impurity, in evil, unwholesome mental state. You fear it. You fear of unwholesome things. So you have the hiri and ottappa. Here you develop some qualities there. And also you like the purity and you discuss impurity. By this way, frequently and regularly, you can go far away from your defilements also, as the Buddha did. But it is difficult thing, I know, it's okay. But we have to practice properly and continuously. Otherwise, you cannot get such a purity. And also here you can see, after giving up all the desires, the Blessed One became the worthy one of all the honor and respect and offerings and gifts. He is worthy for having those things. But he became a worthy one after destroying and giving up all the desires for everything. After giving up all the desires, he became a worthy one. Then the people, and not only human beings, but also the gods and Brahmas, so many people approach the Blessed One. They offer a lot of things to the Buddha. But you can see, no matter what the people offer to the Buddha, he did not delight in those things. How many people came to the Buddha? How many devas came to the Buddha? He did not delight of this fame or gains. He always be steady. His mind was very steady. You can see in a very nice sutta in Samyutta Nikaya, 2.18, the name of the sutta is Kakudha Sutta. And Kakudha is a young deva, young god. One day, those days the Buddha was dwelling at Saketa. He was dwelling at Saketa. There was a nice grove. The name of the grove is Anjana grove. Anjana means something they use for color up their eyebrows, especially ladies those days. So Anjana grove, I don't know what is the meaning of the Anjana grove. Anyway, here also we have so many groves in SBS. Dhamma grove, Sīma grove, Bhavana grove, Jhana grove, so many groves we can see here. But we have no, I think, Anjana grove. Anyway, those days the Buddha was dwelling at Anjana grove in Saketa. That Kakudha, the Devata Kakudha, he approached the Blessed One in the night time, illuminating all the Anjana grove. And he paid homage to the Blessed One and stood aside and said to the Blessed One, he asked the question to the Blessed One. What is the question? It's very important. He asked from Buddha, Nandasi samanati, do you delight samana? Do you delight ascetic? Do you delight ascetic? Then the Buddha replied, King Laddha avasoti. Having gained what friend? In other words, why should I delight? What have I gained? And then he asked again, Tena hi samana sochasiti. Then ascetic, do you sorrow? Then the Buddha replied, King Jita Soti. What has been lost, friend? What has been lost, friend? In other words, why should I sorrow? What has I lost? So then he asked again, Tenihi samana neva nandasi nana sochasiti. Then ascetic, you do you neither delight nor sorrow? Then ascetic, do you neither delight nor sorrow? Then the Buddha replied, yes, friend, Āyasmā Sumana. So here we can see the people offer so many things to the Buddha, but he did not delight in them. And if he lost something, he did not sorrow about them. It is it's an amazing quality. This is the importance of the Buddha. Whatever he had got he did not delight in them. And also he did not sorrow if something lost. This one is also very important thing to apply for our day-to-day life. And then, next. You can see the Blessed One became a worthy one. The topic, my topic is what makes a Buddha worthy of honor and respect. He became a worthy one after reaching his goal. To achieve something, you need effort. You can see in the Samyutta Nikaya 12.22, there is a very good sutta, Dutiya Dasabala Sutta, Samyutta Nikaya 12.22, Dutiya Dasabala Sutta. There the Buddha mentioned, the Bhikkave Hīnena Aggasya Patti Hoti, Aggena Chako Bhikkave Aggasya Patti Hoti. The meaning is, it is not can be achieved by inferior. It is not by inferior that can be achieved supreme, but rather by the supreme that can be attained supreme. If you need to achieve a supreme goal, supreme destination you have to go, you have to put a lot of effort. So here you can say that Buddha reached his goal by putting a lot of effort toward his goal. Otherwise he cannot reach his goal. If he could not reach his goal, nobody pay homage to him. You can say the Blessed One as a Prince Siddhartha before becoming enlightened one. As a Prince Siddhartha, he sacrificed a lot of things. At the age of 29, he left the palace, and also he left all the relatives and the Queen Yasodhara and also the Prince Rahula and all the wealth he have got. So he sacrificed all the things what he has got. Afterward, he put a lot of effort with the right view to attain to the enlightenment. Therefore, he could attain to his destination. He could reach his goal. But even if he could not achieve his goal, all the world will blame him. But luckily, it not happened to him. Actually, it's not by luck. It's by his great commitment. Otherwise, he cannot achieve. So here you can see a very good relationship between cause and effect. The Buddha always preached about the cause and effect relationship. Here you can see a very nice fact. What is the fact? One who became successful, they are worthy to have the gains and all the respect and honor. One who put a lot of effort towards their goal, only they could be successful. One who become successful, they become worthy for having all the things, all the praise and honor. One who put a lot of effort toward their goal, only they can achieve their goals. Therefore, if you need to become a worthy one, not like a Buddha, but even in your day-to-day life, if you want to reach your goals, you have to put a lot of effort. Otherwise, you cannot reach your goals. As an example, if a student, if children, if some child, he needs to become the top student in his class, he should put a lot of effort towards his goal. He has to learn and study a lot of. And also, if you need to develop and grow in your job, you should develop your qualifications. Otherwise, you cannot go have some promotions. And also, if you need to have a good profit in your business, you have to invest your money and your time in the proper way. Otherwise, you cannot get a good profit. So you can see even in worldly goals, you have to put a lot of effort with the right view. Otherwise, you cannot reach your goals. What about the spiritual goals? If you need to develop a good sila, good virtue, if you need to develop your samadhi well, the concentration, if you need to develop your panya, the wisdom, you need to put a lot of effort in the right view. So then you can see when you put a lot of effort in the right view, then you can achieve your goals. Then you become a worthy one for having all the things, respect, honor, and so on. So when you think about yourself, when we are going to reach our goals, now you can ask from yourself, do we do this properly? Do we put a lot of effort properly? Or just wish or just aspiration we are going to achieve our goals? You can see there is a sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, the books of fives. There is one very good sutta. The sutta name is Itta Sutta. Some says Itta Dhamma Sutta also. Anyway, Anguttara 5.43. There the Buddha said, in this world people like to have 5 things. Panchime Gahapati, Itta Kanta Dhamma, Itta Kanta Manapa, Dullabha, Lokasmin. There are 5 things people like to wish to have. I am going a bit, I will tell in brief. What are the 5 things? Long life, Ayu, long life, Vanno, beauty, Sukhang, happiness, Yaso, fame, and Sagga. Sagga means heaven. Heaven. Those 5 things people like to achieve. People will wish to have these 5 things. Then the Blessed One said, these 5 things, na pattana hetuva, na ayachana hetuva patilabham vadami. Those 5 things cannot be achieved means of wishing or aspirations. These cannot be achieved means of wishing or aspirations. Then the Buddha said, very nice part in the sutta, if someone could achieve these things by wishing and aspirations, Buddha asked a question, Ko idda kena hayata? Then who here would be lacking in anything? Everybody has everything. Then we no need to become a monk. We just make an aspiration to become an Arahaṃ, then we can. But it is impossible. We cannot achieve our goals just by wishing, just by aspirations. But the aspirations also useful to remind and to recall our destination, where we are going, what are the goals we have, what is the purpose, what are the purpose we are practicing for. So aspiration is we can use for remind and recall, but just aspiration is not good enough to achieve our goals. The Buddha followed the proper way until he reached to the goal. Otherwise, he could not reach to the goal. So this one also we can learn by this one. This sutta is very, very important sutta. So if you need to achieve your goals, you can make an aspiration, and also especially you have to follow the proper way. By following proper way, only you can achieve your goals. And then you will ask me a question, Bhante, sometimes when we are putting your effort for achieving some goals, but we cannot, we are failing sometimes. Why it's happening? So then we can follow the Buddha's way already. You can see when the Buddha put effort on his striving, on his Dhamma practice, he already has developed a very large amount of power of merits beforehand. You can see he already practiced, he already developed so many qualities, so many qualifications. He did a lot of meritorious activities. It doesn't mean he did all the time meritorious activities, not practicing, but practicing together. He had a very big, large amount of power of merit. You can see in the Mahamangala Sutta and Sutta Nipata, it's a very common sutta, they are mentioned Pubbecha Kata Punyata. Pubbecha Kata Punyata. It's a highest blessing, one of the highest blessings. Pubbecha Kata Punyata. The merit has done in the past. So, if we have good merit and also we have a good view and then we put a lot of effort, then we can reach our goals. You know, the effort is only one fact when we are going to reach our goals, because you should have a right view and also right intention, and also you should have right speech, right action, right livelihood, and also right effort. You already now know about that, right mindfulness and right concentration. These are the 8 Noble Fold Paths. So these all the factors you need to reach your goal. So then you can reach your goal. By reaching goal, you will become a worthy one, sure. So, if you need to pay homage to the Blessed One, what is the best way to express our honor and respect? It is also an important thing to know. I would like to bring it up again, the Mahaparinibbana Sutta. In Mahaparinibbana Sutta, the Buddha mentioned Yoko bhikkhu va bhikkhuni va upasako va upasika va. Any bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, a monk or nun, upasako va upasika va, male or female lay follower, dhammānu dhamma patipanno viharati, those who dwells in according to the Dhamma, practicing according to the Dhamma. Sāmici patipanno, practicing properly. Anudhammachari, behaving according to the Dhamma. So tathāgatang sakkaroti, garung karoti, māneti, pujeti, apaceti. One respects, esteems, cherishes, and venerate for the Buddha, for the Tathagata. How? Paramaya Pujaya. By the best way to do the honors to our honor. Paramaya Pujaya. By the best way. So now you are preparing and getting ready, go on a pilgrimage to India to venerate the Buddha. So therefore, please don't forget to bring a mind by practicing such qualities and practicing Dhamma. If you practice Dhamma properly, when you go to India, you can pay your homage to the Buddha by the highest blessing, by the highest honor. So I wish you to bring your practiced mind to the India and have a very good pilgrimage and try to develop these qualities practically in your life, and then Your confidence you can develop. By developing your confidence, you can achieve your goal one day. Everybody, I wish you all the best. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now I think it is time to our Q&A session. If you want to ask questions, now it's time to ask questions. Okay.
Bhante spoke about right effort. So understand that sometimes in meditation, the teacher will say that too much effort, it's like the guitar string. You will break the guitar string. So how do we know how much is the right effort? What will be the benchmark?
Okay, good question. How much effort should we put? It is very important thing. The same question arises when the Buddha, as a Bodhisattva, when he going to achieve his goal, same thing arises. Because he put a lot of effort towards his goal, at the time he realized very nice simile. I would like to present it to you, then you can understand it very clearly. Simile of the lute. If you need to make a lute, play a lute, then there are some strings, when you make the strings very tight, then you cannot hear very well the sound. And it is very loose, it's also same. So therefore you have to balance your effort all the time. So it is important to be sure that your effort is balanced. You can see when you are sitting for your meditation, or when you are listening to Dhamma, or you are studying something, you feel more stress with yourself. Your mind is not so happy. It means you are putting a lot of effort. Because you can put a lot of effort if you have such a capacity and a capability. But if your capability and capacity is less, you cannot put such an effort towards your target. So then, one thing, you can reduce your effort, but reducing effort is not only one solution. You have to develop your capacity. If you develop your capacity and the capability, then you can put more effort. By this way, you can increase your capacity and increase your effort. Increase your capacity and increase your effort. By this way, I think you can balance your practice, balance your right effort. Otherwise, if you do only one thing, if you focus only one thing, then it would not be useful. Sometimes you may get more stress in your mind. Therefore, if you want to hear a nice sound from your lute, make it in the proper way. Tune it in the proper way. So by this way, you have to tune your mind, tune your effort. Then you can go forward. Yeah.
When on a trip to India, right, for the pilgrimage, visiting the holy sites, right, Bhante, do you have any advice or tips as to like how should we be like making aspiration to to cultivate the Buddha's qualities? Or there's so many Buddha's qualities, right? Good qualities. So when we are at the holy sites, what should we do? Yeah.
Actually, to develop the qualities of the Buddha, you don't need to wait for going on the pilgrimage. You can develop by now also. Then if you develop those qualities, when you go there, you can have some experience and you can increase your qualities. I think it is better to develop by now. Don't wait until going on a pilgrimage. Yeah, as you said, there are a lot of qualities. All the qualities we cannot develop, and even we cannot understand. But some things you can practice, something you can apply to your day-to-day life, like the purity, appreciating the purity, and try not to be delight in the gains always, and develop your qualifications without make an aspiration to get something. Because if you make an aspiration to achieve something without developing your qualifications, then you have to become sad one day. But if you develop your qualifications beforehand and then you make an aspiration, then you can achieve your goal. So by this way, and contemplating the Buddha, and when your mind become more weak, then you can recall the Buddha. By this practicing these ways, you can develop these qualities. Then you can go there. You no need to worry until you go on a pilgrimage to develop those qualities. But when you go there, you feel something, you will feel, and then you can increase your qualities what you have developed. You have developed beforehand.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante, what is the significance of chanting the Buddha Nusati chant for a total of 108 times?
Actually, I haven't seen this technique in any text in Pāli Sutta or even in commentaries. I think this one came from the Brahmin mantras, because when they use their mantras, usually they recite 108 times. But I haven't seen any sutta or any, even in commentaries, even in sub-commentaries, I haven't seen such a technique mentioned. But I don't see any difference between 108 and 110 because it's just a number. But if you recall the Buddha's qualities by practicing, and also if you can feel something in your heart about the Buddha, it is better than counting the times you have recited the verses or something, because you can recite 108 times. Actually, I have done this because I have completed 100,000 times during one vassa. When I was a very young monk, I completed 100,000 times reciting, actually memorizing by mind, reciting by mind with the mala. But it is useful when your mind is wandering, and when you are traveling, you can bring something like that. Then it can be used as a tool. But the number of times you have recited, it can be useful, but the main thing is you should develop these qualities as possible. Okay, good question.
Thank you, Bhante.